Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of the vlog. I have a special guest on this vlog, and we're going to share about our recent experience in Washington, D.C. at Museum of the Bible here in this episode. All right, so we are talking about our experience at Museum of the Bible. Shelby, you had fun, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a few things, I think, perceptions you might have about Museum of the Bible. And the first one that I had when I was invited is like, should I bring my kids? I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. They're like, absolutely bring your kids. And so here's my recommendation. Bring your kids. I think it might be even better for kids than it is for adults, although it's fascinating for adults, and I wish I had more time. We spent about 4 hours on Friday night at Museum of the Bible. Incredible. I mean, everything was incredible. So here's a few initial things, my thoughts that I want to share with you. The first is that it's top-notch. Everything about Museum of the Bible was top-notch. Now, I knew this before it even started. I got to experience 2 years ago an event here in New York introducing the Bible. That was top-notch. I've gotten to interface with them at conferences and the team and everything about the team, about the facility, about the brand. It's excellent. And I think you're going to find that as you go to DC and experience the museum there in the flesh. The next part of the Museum of the Bible that I want to share with you is that it was interactive, right? There was a lot of stuff to play with. Yep, and to touch and like screens you can play with and do different things. Mm-hmm. So we were there at night. It was 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. These girls were up way past their bedtime, but they were so engaged, and not just in the kids area, across the whole museum. The next element that I want to highlight is that it told the story of the Bible well. Do you remember watching that video of the New Testament? And so there's like really like bright lights and really animated. Do you remember that, Shelby? Mm-hmm. Was it cool? Did you learn a lot? So it tells the story well. So it tells the story of the Old Testament, of Jesus' life. There's this area that you walk through where Jesus lived. You got to feel like you were where Jesus was, didn't you? And then there's this part of where it kind of tells the story of the New Testament and Paul and Saul and, you know, the conversion experience and so much of what happened there in the New Testament. And so really tells the story of the Bible well. All right, the last thing that I want to share about the Museum of the Bible is that it captured the history of the Bible well. And so not just the history of what happened and was told through the Bible, but how the Bible has impacted history. And so the impact of the Bible, one of our favorite rooms as a family was the Illuminations room, where it talks about all the translations of the Bible, and then kind of speaks to what still needs to be translated for the impact of the Bible to continue to impact history in such a significant way. So we were really excited about that. Didn't Mommy really like that room?
Yes.
Yeah, so we really enjoyed that and so many elements of that aspect of the Museum of the Bible. So it's so cool to be able to see it laid out visually of the impact of the Bible on history. If I could describe the Museum of the Bible with one word, it would be excellent. Everything was done with excellence. It was just fantastic. Every detail of the Museum of the Bible was excellent. Shelby, is there one word you would use to describe the Museum of the Bible? Mm-hmm. What is that?
Everything.
Everything. Everything is the one word? Because everything was what?
Fun.
Fun, yeah. So it's so fun. And should people bring kids to the Museum of the Bible? Yeah.
There was juice from grapes.
Juice from grapes.
And, and the juice is red.
And the juice is red, yep.
And there's different color of grapes.
And on the elevator, what was the name of... There's a special thing that people can look for in the elevators. What is it?
Henrietta the Hummingbird.
Henrietta the Hummingbird. So when you go to the Museum of the Bible, take your kids and look for Henrietta the Hummingbird on the elevator. It will make more sense when you're there. It was awesome. Now here's what we want to do. We want to share with you a little bit about our experience at Museum of the Bible. So my wife captured it, Katie, on her Snapchat. And so we're going to share her Snapchat story of our experience of Museum of the Bible. So go ahead and watch it here.
Okay, can we go now?
All right, so here's what we're doing. The Museum of the Bible has not opened yet, but we've been invited to a special preview for social media influencers. So that is what we're doing here tonight. That is why we're in Washington, D.C. We feel really honored to be here, to be one of the first people, and definitely some of the first kids to experience this amazing museum. So we'll take you along with us tonight. It might be hard to see, but there's an incredible view up on the 6th floor. There's Capitol.
Unchanged. So there's only one real question now, before your time on this earth is done. When they lay your body in the ground, where will you go? When there's nowhere left to run, where will you go? When there's nowhere left to run.
Kids are pretty excited about the kids experience. Here we go.
There's a treasure box. There's a few boxes.
These are all ways that the Bible shows up today in our culture.
Okay, on the 7th day he was arrested.
The reason is because Gutenberg kept the capital letters in the uppercase and the smaller letters in the lowercase. Then you come over here, you want these over here because you're under pressure.
My mom, she does WC moms.
Go back way back. So the last one is a little bit like this. Okay.
So far, I think it's really awesome. And I'm definitely.
This is fashion, how it's influenced by the Bible. There's some Givenchy, some Versace, Christian Lacroix, Chanel earrings, Dolce & Gabbana.
How can I do it now? Up.
There's a McQueen dress and Jean-Paul Gaultier. Alright, we're in the elevator. You're supposed to look for the hummingbird. There's a hummingbird that shows up on the screens. I don't know if we'll see it this time. Nope, no hummingbird. On to floor 3.
Maybe because we didn't see it.
Which one should we go through first? Old Testament? Alright. Now we get to walk through Nazareth. A recreation of what it looked like when Jesus was living.
According to the Bible, we praise 3 times. Each time we praise for an hour, correct? Yeah. You don't know? Sure. Okay. Yes. Now, back in biblical times, they used to
from Jerusalem to Jericho, and fell into the hands of robbers who stripped him, beat him, and went away, leaving him half dead. Now by chance a priest was going down that road, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. So likewise a man from the tribe of Levi.
May I do this again, Mom?
This is the Illuminations room, which is the effort to translate the Bible into all languages. Right now there are 671 languages of the full Bible.
Mommy, can we read this Bible?
993,426 number of chapters still left to be translated. Got a lot of work to do. If you see all of the yellow books, that represents all of the languages that have not yet been translated at all. These are all the languages left. This is a video about American Bible Society, and it's kind of cool that the girls get to watch about where I work and how it came about.
Psalms are real nice, but they're not written right. Zulu poetry has a very complicated 12-syllable.
As you can see, there's still a little bit of work to do here and there, but they'll be ready by next week's opening. I have to say, I am so amazed right now. Our family is the only one in this room, and we are surrounded by hundreds and thousands of years of history, and we're able just to quietly and slowly go through it and walk through it on our own, at our own pace, explain to the girls what they're seeing. It really has been a great night. Hey Emery, what did you say to Daddy earlier? Thank you for what?
Being famous.
For being famous. The girls think... You told people in your class that he was famous? Well, he's not famous, but he does get to do cool things like this. Oh, he is? Okay.
I saw him on TV.
You saw him on TV?
And everyone was shouting for him.
And everybody... When were you on TV?
I'm famous.
In Australia! Remember?
He was on TV in Australia? Wow, world famous. I didn't know. Now I know. But we do get to do cool things like this, so whatever level of famous, not famous this is, I like it.
It's cool to be. Okay, ready?
Okay.
5, 4.
Okay, you ready? Look at the camera and smile, okay?
They used to sit on rocks.
They used to sit on rocks.
And what I would say about the Bible is that it was interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a good word.